Right then, here we are for Snetterton's first truck race of the weekend. We're going to speak to a couple of drivers before we get that race underway. Just done qualifying, but I really want to speak to a very unsuspecting, I think you'll find, championship leader over here in the 41 truck, Simon Cole, Division 2 top runner. Let's just quickly speak to Simon. We come on round, there we go. Now Simon, a little birdie tells me you're currently doing quite well in the old Division 2, sir.
Yeah, not bad, mate. Just finishing in every race which counts. We're still we're having loads of problems this year, and we've still got loads of problems out there now, but it's all about finishing. Long game.
But I'm told championship leader is the phrase of the weekend. You've got to be pretty thrilled with that regardless.
Oh yeah, I'm over the moon with that, and we've not won a race either, so it just shows consistency's key to all of this.
Taking some trophies home from Donington though. Are they looking proud and pretty on your shelf now?
Yeah, they're down the workshop on the side. 4 out of 5 trophies, so that was good. Let's see what we can do here. This ain't our best circuit though, this is our weakest circuit, so I just can't get it together here, but let's see what we can do and we'll go from there.
Well, as we've seen in the championship in years gone by, consistency is key. You've already said it yourself. Don't break her. Don't break her.
Exactly that.
Right, thank you very much, Simon Cole. Good luck for the weekend. So it just goes to show consistency is massively important in the British Truck Racing Championships. Last time we saw this, Craig Evans a couple of years ago, not taking a single trophy for the entire year, but still ending up with a 3rd overall. Let's go see if we can catch up with from Division 1. So then, joining me down here in Parc Ferme, fresh from qualifying, Dave Smith. Dave, I hear that we had some gearbox trouble last night, late night for your team.
Yeah, yesterday practice, gearbox went pretty much straight away as well. So yeah, it was a hard day yesterday. Got a gearbox down yesterday afternoon, worked till about 11 o'clock last night. So, but yeah, it's all good. Got no gear troubles now, so it's just me.
Now, I noticed you got quite close to a certain checkered flag earlier on. Do you want to tell us what the special occasion is today?
I believe it's Andrew Fulcher's wife's birthday. So
yeah, Jill Fulcher's birthday. She requested specially if she could wave the checkered, and Bark were very kind to let her do the qualifying session. Of course, you gave her the thrill of her life, I believe.
Yeah, well, you know, didn't want to disappoint, so yeah, just waking her up a little bit.
So we're ready, shaking down for the day. Truck's feeling good after that new box, and we're ready to hit the first race.
Yeah, box is good. We've still got a few problems I think we've got to try and sort out. But yeah, I mean, mechanically, we're good. Yeah, we're good to go.
Fantastic. Well, Dave, good luck for the weekend. Good talking to you. Thanks for joining us. That's what we've got time for then, as we hand back to Dave in the studio. We're ready to go British truck racing.
Thanks very much, Pointy. We'll be hearing plenty from him down in the paddock over the course of the weekend. It's almost time to unleash the beasts from the paddock then. These 5-ton, near 1,000 horsepower racing trucks. If you've not seen truck racing before, you have got a real treat coming up. It's almost 40 years since the first truck races took place in the UK in November 1984 at Donington Park. That event, it was literally road-going trucks, a lot of which quite simply drove into the paddock, unhitched their trailers, raced and then carried on with their journeys after the weekend. Far removed from today's world of highly specialised racing trucks with near 1,000 horsepower race-tuned engines. Very dedicated drivers indeed, very specialist machines indeed. And some of the all-time greats are out here this weekend. We'll bring you the grid for our first of 5 races set by the qualifying session. It was the reigning champion, the 8-time champion Ryan Smith, who set pole position, 2:22.563 his quickest lap, over a second quicker than his title rival this year, the man second in the points, David Jenkins, number 69. So it's Daimler Freightliner alongside MAN on the front row. Second row, number 3, Stephen Powell, third in the points at the moment, and a man who's unaccustomed to being a long way down the points, but it's not been a happy season for the 10-time champion, the former European champion, Stuart Oliver. Of course, failed to score at Pembrey and also had a nasty accident at Thruxton, which has wrecked his Volvo VNL. The team has prepared a new truck, a new MAN, for Stewart to complete the season in. He lines up on the second row. On row 3 of the grid, number 14, John Bowler, starts alongside number 12, Michael Oliver, son of Stewart. On the 4th row, 86, Tom O'Rourke from Scotland in the International Navistar, alongside the first of the Division 2 trucks, the slightly less powerful machines, number 22, Paul Rivette. He's 3rd in the Division 2 points at the moment. The 5th row, number 11, we just heard from David Smith, no relation to Ryan, incidentally, back in the championship this year in Division 1, the former Division 2 champion, alongside 33, Neil Yates, the man from Kent. On row 6 is number 6, John Powell, currently 2nd in the Division 2 points. Starts alongside the championship leader we just heard from, Simon Cole, number 41 in his Iveco. And completing the lineup is the youngest man on the grid, number 40, Archie Handy, the former junior saloon car racer in his Volvo FM12. Not even old enough to have an HGV licence, but of course you only need a race licence to race trucks. So a total of 13 trucks out there, 14 on the entry list. We've not seen Adam Bint out in qualifying. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if Adam is here with his Volvo white Aerodyne, the Bint racing truck, who rejoined the championship halfway through the season. The TRP truck and trailer parts DAF is ready to lead the field out. It will be a 15-minute race, a rolling start. Marshals will move well back off their posts, of course, for safety reasons. Trucks have already been to Brands Hatch on Easter weekend, then they went to Pembrey, where mechanical problems sadly prevented Stuart Oliver from scoring points, and then he had that bad accident in qualifying at Thruxton in July. Then it was Donington Park in August for Convoy in the Park, where David Jenkins and Ryan Smith once again shared the wins in Division 1. Simon Cole, incidentally, leading the Division 2 points, but he hasn't yet won a race this year. It's been Paul Rivette who's done the majority of the winnings, but he missed the round at Pembrey. He was out with a broken ankle, and touring car racer Sam Osborne took over the Napa race parts truck. And we mentioned after here at Snetterton, the series goes to Le Mans in France in 2 weeks' time before a break until Bonfire weekend, November the 2nd and 3rd, on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit to decide the championships. In terms of points, it's 15 for a win, 14 for second, 13 for third, and so on downwards in each division. There's also a point for pole position and for the fastest lap. So the points for pole position for race 1 already decided in favour of Ryan Smith. He's got 1 point, and Paul Rivette in Division 2. Must thank all the partners of the championship this year as well. TRP Parts, you've already mentioned, the sponsors of our pace truck. GT Tyres, you'll see their colours on the Oliver team's trucks. Dines Motor Group, they provide accident recovery and management and roadside repairs. MV Commercial, that's Tom O'Rourke's company, supplier of new and used trucks for sale in the UK. Total Care Vehicle Lifts and Testing Equipment. Sylvie Fleet, which is the fuel card and fleet management provider. BWOC, bulk fuel suppliers, supplying renewable diesel and carbon neutral fuel. Transport Monitoring Systems Limited, Truck and Driver Magazine as well, and Freyhouf Trailers. So the trucks making their way out onto track for this 15-minute race. Paul Rivette in the Napa MAN. John Powell in the black and green DAF LF. That's one of the older trucks on the grid, along with Archie Handy's Volvo. That's the ex-Paul McCumiskey truck, Paddy Mac as he's known. There's no Adam Bint, unfortunately, so 13 trucks out there. Archie Handy, the son of Simon Cole, getting those tyres warmed up. No mistaking Simon Cole's truck there with the fluorescent pink colour scheme. He used to have that on his Mercedes as well, the Mercedes Beast as he used to call it. Ryan Smith currently on 381 points, David Jenkins on 322, and Stephen Powell on 309. So the three leading scorers in the Division 1 Championship in the three top slots on the grid. Michael Oliver is fourth in the points. He's had a decent season so far in the GT Tyres-backed Team Oliver Racing MAN. Stuart Oliver, his father, up there in fourth on the grid in his new build. You can see Stephen Powell in the colours of Neil Yates Recovery. His running mate a bit further back in P10 on the grid, the number 33. Just keeping it steady at the moment. Wait to see if they're going to pull up on the grid or if they're going to unleash them straight into the race, because as you've seen from the paddock, it's quite a long lap here at Snetterton. Big crowd here at Snetterton. We can see some members of Team Oliver on the left there as well. So is the pace truck going to unleash them at this time? TRP truck and trailer parts. DAF, the red lights are on, so we are ready for a start. This will be a 15-minute race, first of 5 races this weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Snetterton. Let's get ready to rumble as the pace truck pulls into pit lane. Ryan Smith and his arch rival David Jenkins lead them up towards the starting lights. Around 13,000 horsepower about to be unleashed all at once here at Snetterton as soon as that red light goes out, and here we go. First truck race of the weekend gets underway. They thunder their way down towards the first corner of Riches. Good start by Ryan Smith in the Daimler Freightliner, leads David Jenkins. Stephen Powell is in third place. Looks like Paul Rivette has held the lead of Division 2 as they head up towards Wilson's hairpin for the first time. David Jenkins kicks up a bit of dust on the outside. Already those two have gone slightly clear of their opposition. Stephen Powell is in third, then the Olivers, then John Bowler. Somebody's gone straight on, that's Neil Yates, the number 33, onto the grass. Slides around, no grip there, spins the MAN around. Man who had that huge accident at Thruxton last season at Allard Corner. He hasn't hit anything that time, fortunately. He'll rejoin at the back of the field. John Bowler runs a little bit wide there, the red and blue number 14 MAN. Coming under fire there from Michael Oliver. Behind him, Tom O'Rourke in the bonneted International Navistar. Then it's David Smith in the white MAN. Paul Rivette leads John Powell and Simon Cole in the 4-strong Division 2 field. Out of Agostini they go for the first time up towards Hamilton. Brian Smith already starting to clear away. David Jenkins MAN in second place. Stephen Powell in third. The Olivers sandwiching John Bowler, the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Stuart Oliver in 4th place, the 10 times British and 1-time European champion. course, sadly, the European Championship doesn't visit the UK anymore as Tom O'Rourke takes Michael Oliver into Williams' corner. There is our points leader in Division 2, Simon Cole, but he's yet to win this year. Desperate for a first race victory. Tom O'Rourke battling it out with Michael Oliver, but it's Ryan Smith who leads. Opened his season with 3 wins at Brands Hatch, 2 wins at Pembrey. He won all 5 races. 2 wins at Brands Hatch, sorry, 2 wins at Pembrey. He won all 5 at Thruxton. And then at Donington scored 3 wins, restricted to 2nd place. He had to start from the back of the grid for the first 2 races at Donington at Convoy in the Park. After some problems in qualifying, and off goes Ryan Smith. What on earth's happened there? 2 trucks off, Jenkins off as well. What on earth has happened there? Stephen Powell's gone off as well. There must be fluid down. Look at that, Ryan Smith's gone straight on into the tyre wall. David Jenkins off as well. That was so sudden. There's got to be fluid down coming out of the bomb hole. All the top 3 just seemed to go straight on. Surely they're going to have to stop the race. What an extraordinary incident. So Stuart Oliver's gone into the lead, but surely this race is going to be stopped. They can't continue with 2 trucks off on the outside of the exit of the bomb hole. I do not know what's happened there because they hadn't done a racing lap. I can't understand what must have dropped fluid. There must be something on the track there. So Stuart Oliver leads. It's John Bowler in 2nd place. And Michael Oliver in 3rd. So Tom O'Rourke has dropped back as well there. That was such a strange incident. The red flag is coming out, not surprisingly. You can't continue with 2 trucks stranded on the outside of the entry to Coram. What an extraordinary incident. I don't think there was any contact between the 2 trucks going in there. Looks like the drivers are okay there. Whether they did tangle up there, we didn't quite see, but it looked as though Ryan Smith was fairly clear ahead of David Jenkins. So whether they went off independently, I can't see any damage to the 2 trucks, which suggests there may have been contact. That was bizarre. Rest of the trucks being brought back towards the grid. So whether there was contact between the 2 there or whether it is fluid on the circuit, I'm not too sure. They seem to go off independently of each other there towards the tyre wall. I saw a cloud of smoke go up from, I assume, the tyres on Ryan Smith's truck as he spun round. And Stephen Powell went off as well, possibly in avoidance. I thought for a second they'd all gone on wide on some fluid. Well, I do not know what's happened there. So we'll await news on a restart to race 1 for the British Truck Racing Championship. Main thing is that both drivers are okay. Great rivals for many years, these 2, Ryan Smith and David Jenkins. David, a former British champion. Man from Staffordshire. It's back in 2011 that David Jenkins took the title. Ryan Smith's run began in 2016. He took his first title and has been unbeaten in Division 1 ever since. Took 16 race wins last season. Jenkins, meanwhile, his season last year was a little bit slow to get going. He only took 2 wins in the end last year. He was 3rd in the points. Had a win at Brands Hatch at the season opener this year, 2 wins at Pembrey, and won the first 2 races at Donington at Convoy in the Park, ahead of Ryan Smith, who of course came through from the back to finish second each time before winning the remaining 3. Well, the recovery trucks will be required here. The rest of the trucks will head back to the start-finish line to await a restart. Wonder what's our large crowd made of that one. Give us a wave. They've spotted the camera. And here comes one of our recovery vehicles, NYR on the back there, Neil Yates Recovery. It's a bit ironic, as Neil Yates happens to be in this race. We already saw him spin off, unfortunately, at the hairpin. British Truck Racing Championship, one of the biggest crowd pullers on the UK circuits, quite literally. Certainly one of the leading spectator motorsports in the UK, along with British touring cars and British superbikes. So awaiting news on the restarts. In the meantime, let's hand down to Pointy, who's down in the pit lane. I think we can hand down to Pointy in just a minute or two. Just making his way into pit lane. See if he can find out what happened there. So we are under the red flag here at Snetterton, following an incident up at the entry to Coreham, which saw Ryan Smith and David Jenkins go off on the outside. As you can see, the volunteer marshals there clearing up some fluid, so presumably that's what sent them spinning. It's the RB heavy recovery and repair truck there waiting to give one of those trucks a tow. And then we'll find out if they will be fit and okay for the restart. The drivers are okay. Trucks will need a check over from the mechanics and the scrutineers. Must have been a rather astonished Stuart Oliver coming through Coreham there. He went into the corner 4th and came out in the lead. Now, the fluid being cleared up there, was it already on the tarmac, or was it dropped by Ryan Smith or David Jenkins? Because I saw smoke as Ryan Smith went spinning, and I thought it was just tyre smoke. But was it fluid from the number 1 truck? Meanwhile, let's see what Pointy's been able to find out down in the pits.
Right then, welcome to the pit lane down here at Snetterton, where we've witnessed not the best start to the racing action this weekend, especially not for Ryan Smith. David Jenkins currently getting recovered from the grass. So of course we're having a re-grid, I believe less than 2 laps completed, which means a restart re-grid of the original order. That's of course if all of the trucks are cleared to race and of course get themselves back underway. The wreckers from Trackside Recovery are on their way out, and I believe we're just waiting for permission to head out onto the grid, but it looks like the gate's shut. Are we able to get out there? Are we going ahead, or what's the... You're quick. You're quick. You're not. let's just have a quick look. So, very quickly looking out here then, we see the remaining trucks. 2 missing, looks even smaller than it did before. Stuart Oliver, of course, narrowly missing the action there. Steve Powell was rumoured at one point over the PA to have been involved, but of course he's perfectly fine by the looks of it. We're not sure, of course, how long these guys are going to be down here for. Let's see if we can get a word off the marshals. Do we know how long we've got left for recovery?
Oh, for recovery, don't
Yeah, no, so we've been given 10 minutes back on the clock. So, yeah, we're looking, we've heard off the marshals that we're going to be getting about 3 minutes left of waiting time before they get underway. So I'll tell you what, let's head back in, because that means we don't want to get caught out on the circuit with that little amount of time.
Go down if you want.
Well, I'll go down this way, it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, there's only a couple of minutes left now. They'll be getting them back in soon. 10-minute restart. Let's find you guys. Have you heard off Steve that he saw anything? Because he was obviously next in line.
He was just lucky, and he said it was very slippery.
He said it's very slippery.
Very slippery.
So something perhaps down on the circuit. This does happen, of course. Different races out on the circuit means that sometimes we can get a bit of fluid down on the tarmac, which, although these are very heavy, very grippy machines, it's still 5.5 tonne going round a corner at very high speeds. Right, let's go and have a quick word. Mr. Morse,
hello, mate.
How are we? We had a chance to speak to Simon earlier on. He seemed quite modest about the whole weekend. The expectations, of course. But have we given him any kind of pep talk going into the first race?
Just sort of put your foot down and see what you can do. You just try and enjoy it like normal, but yeah, we'll be all right, I think.
He seemed to think he had some technical issues earlier on. Do we think that's up there, or is the actual truck causing him trouble?
Bit of both, it's a learning curve again for us for here.
Same with any driver though, isn't it?
It was a new truck for us when we were here last year. We've done so much work on the lorry since Donington, ironed a few things out, but we feel quite comfortable with the lorry, so...
We really want to see some trophies for him this weekend. Of course, there being so few in Division 2, it really is the top spot or nothing. Of course, only giving the first place out for Division 2, but there will be an overall first, second, third. So, of course, fingers crossed he holds on for one of those for certain.
Well, points mean prizes. It's consistency. It's all we need. As long as we stay out there and feel comfortable, it's lap times what we want to look at data. Yeah, just consistent is what you want.
Fingers crossed. Keep up the good work. A lot of work, of course, goes into these trucks behind the scenes. If you've not watched the British truck racing before and this is your first time joining us, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people involved. All the teams here, of course, feeling a bit lost, not knowing what to do with themselves, not allowed to go out and work on the trucks, of course, because they are effectively under race orders here. So no work getting done on the trucks. And of course, they've only completed 2 laps, so why would they need to do anything? Let's have a chat over here with Tiny. Tiny, what you saying, buddy?
Oh, mate, it's good, isn't it?
See what, you watching me on TV?
I'm watching you. It's really delayed though, so
It is really delayed. I've not walked over yet. Shall we wait until you show up?
Yeah.
There you are, sat over there in
yeah.
the distance.
Yeah.
This is going to be very weird to watch this back, isn't it? Yeah, here I go. Here we come. Yeah, and we are 3.
You do look better from behind as well.
Oh, I've heard that off many a man. Thank you, Tiny. On that note, I think we shall move on. We'll move on. Of course, the pit lane garages here all shut. Unfortunately, for the people in the garages, we have got more racing series with us this weekend. But for safety, they're not allowed to have those garage doors open. We're allowed to stand here, though, which I'm not sure about. Of course, totally different to Europe. In Europe, of course, fans, team members, everybody climbing all over the pit wall. We are a lot more stringent with health and safety over here at the British circuits, because, of course, we've got to be. These machines do not stop lightly. I'm hearing a story in my ear here of Thruxton a few years ago when Ben Horn's truck went through the pit wall, as of course we've seen things happen much more recently, and we do have very large effects of these things. I tell you, I don't know where all the teams are hiding today. There's a fair few up here, but we can't be too far away from getting back underway now, as I believe everyone seems to be making their way back over to the garage wall. So I think from me down here, what's going on over here? Oh, they're just having a shouty conversation. Hi Archie, hi. Hi, yes, he's waving everyone. Right, I'm going to run back up to Dave, and I'll hand back to Dave in the commentary box to probably reminisce and give us some more tidbits from his history of truck racing experiences. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Pointy. Yes, we see the recovery in operation up at Corham. David Jenkins' truck being lifted onto the DAF on the left, and on the right, Ryan Smith's truck has sustained quite a bit of damage by the look of it, unfortunately. Well, that's a great shame if they're out of action for the rest of today. The mechanics will work as hard as they can to try and get the big two of the championship back out. Stephen Powell went onto the grass but managed to get away without hitting anything. He's kept it going. But yes, Pointy mentioning the excellent safety standards in the British Championship. I was at Thruxton a few years ago when that incident happened, when Ben Horn's truck spun coming out of the last corner and hit the pit wall, and that's why personnel are kept out of the pit lane during racing. Thankfully everyone was okay, despite some fairly spectacular incidents in truck racing over the years. Serious injuries very rare indeed, thankfully. Due to the construction of these trucks, the safety standards that are enforced, marshals are kept well back off their posts during races, and the circuit safety is superb as well, as are the standards of recovery. Ryan Smith's truck being towed carefully away there by the truck on the right of your screen. David Jenkins will move shortly as well, and hopefully the restart won't eat too far into the lunch break, which was scheduled to begin at 12:55 and lasts for 1 hour. So we may have a slightly shortened lunch break here today before our 3 races this afternoon. We've got the 2-hour race for the MS UK British Endurance Championship, with Peter Erscheg and Marcus Clutton going for a clean sweep of wins this year in their Audi R8. And they were well clear in the qualifying session this morning. And then after that we'll have a second truck race over 15 minutes, and then the first of 3 races this weekend for the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. 3 races for them, partially reversed grids, almost American style racing here. They appeared at the American Speed Fest at Brands Hatch earlier this year as well, the pickups, alongside the Euro NASCAR Championship. So David Jenkins' truck is towed away behind that of Ryan Smith, and the clerks of the course will just be inspecting for any barrier damage. It doesn't look as if there was much damage to the tyre wall there. Ryan Smith's truck was sliding into it, I think. But I don't think we'll see those 2 out for the restart, unfortunately, so it'll be Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver on the front of the grid. Paul Rivette heading up Division 2. So just a final inspection being made by the course car there. Pace truck is back in position. In front of an empty front row, unfortunately. No Ryan Smith or David Jenkins. Those the top 2 in the championship. Now, if Stephen Powell can win this, he'll move up into second place in the points in Division 1, because he'll pick up 15 points for a win, and he's only 13 behind David Jenkins. Stuart Oliver needs points to move up the championship, because he's right down in 9th place coming into this weekend after 2 scoreless weekends this year after mechanical problems at Pembrey, the incident in qualifying at Thruxton that put him out for the weekend and wrecked his Volvo VNL. Michael Oliver 4th in the points. He's quite a way behind Stephen Powell, though. John Bowler 5th in the championship, the red and blue number 14 MAN. Made the move up from Division 2 last season. So there goes David Jenkins. The LJ Transportation DAF 3-axle tows him in. I mentioned Simon Cole leading the points in Division 2. He's been Mr. Consistent this year. He's been 2nd or 3rd in every race bar 3 this season. He had a couple of retirements, one at Brands Hatch, one at Thruxton, and was 4th in race 4 at Donington. Other than that, it's been P2 or P3 every race for Simon Cole. He's 13 points ahead of John Powell in Division 2. John's had a few non-starts this year, problems with his DAF, the man from Kent. He did have 3 wins at Thruxton and 3 at Pembrey, rather. And Paul Rivette sits 3rd in the points. He got a clean sweep at Brands Hatch on Easter weekend. He won all 5 races, including a win overall in race 4, where he beat all the Division 1 trucks. But then he missed the round at Pembrey. He was injured. Sam Osborne replaced him. Had a couple of wins at Thruxton and 3 at Donington. And Paul Rivette, the former multiple Renault Clio Cup champion, sits 3rd in the points. The 1-minute board is displayed, so we're ready for a restart. And this restart will take place over 10 minutes. So it'll be a 10-minute restart for our truck racers. And of course, after the lunch break, we will have our 2-hour endurance race for the British Endurance Championship. Just waiting for the pace truck to lead the field away, the TRP DAF. Got 1 DAF on the grid this weekend as well. John Powell, the DAF LF. JP Racing truck. We've got mainly MANs out there. Ryan Smith in the Daimler Freightliner. The International for Tom O'Rourke, number 86. And of course, father and son Simon Cole and Archie Handy in there, Iveco and Volvo. So here we go then. Stephen Powell moves up into de facto pole position for this one, with the front row left empty. No Ryan Smith or David Jenkins. This will be a 10-minute restart. Are we going to see Stuart Oliver on top here, I wonder? He's yet to win this year. Had a Brands Hatch, he had a 2nd, 2 thirds, a 4th and a 5th. Of course, no finishes at Pembrey after his Volvo broke down in the first race. Wasn't able to race at Thruxton after his qualifying crash, sadly. And then the man from Northumberland had a 2nd and 2 fifths at Donington. And a couple of non-finishes, just really bedding in his new, fairly rush-built truck by the Team Oliver Racing squad. There he is on the front row. John Bowler on the 2nd row. Best he's had this year, a couple of 3rd places at Thruxton. He comes from up in Stockport in Cheshire. Had 1 win last season at Thruxton, his first season in Division 1. 86 Tom O'Rourke there in the bonneted International Navistar. He runs MV Commercial, the man based up in Scotland. Had never been to a truck racing event, never even seen the sport until a few years ago when he exhibited with MV Commercial at Donington Park, at Convoy in the Park. Offered to sponsor the sport, ended up as the title sponsor of the British Championship for a time, and then started competing in it. Not even a big crash at Thruxton a few years ago could hold him back. Had a couple of podiums last season, has had one win in his British truck racing career, Tom O'Rourke. That was 2 years ago at Donington Park. Did an MAN then in the International now. Polling starts, lap continues. Shows what a long lap it is here at Snetterton on the 300 circuit. Drivers will certainly be getting pretty hot in their cabs here. The sun is out, but it's not the warmest day here in Norfolk. But it does get very hot in a race vehicle very quickly. Now they form up 2 by 2, the revs beginning to rise. 11 trucks out there for the restart of race number 1 for the British Truck Racing Championship here on the Snetterton 300 circuit. Simon Cole and Archie Handy at the back. See the dust there, it's been put down on the fluid at Coram. Here we go then. Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver lead them round. The second attempt at race number 1 for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Snetterton. Tension begins to mount once again. These 5-ton beasts about to be unleashed. Pace truck into pit lane. Red and white MAN of Stephen Powell alongside the grey and yellow of Stuart Oliver. Revs beginning to rise, the red lights are on. Waiting for the lights to go out. 10 minutes of racing about to get underway. Here we go. Lights go out and they're away. Who's going to get the whole shot into Rich's corner? It's a great start by Stephen Powell, the man from Kentley's Way. Look at John Bowler up the inside. He's taken Michael Oliver, he's taken Stuart Oliver. What a start by John Bowler, up into second place in the number 14 MAN. Up towards Wilson's hairpin they come for the first time. Stephen Powell has the lead. Bowler in second place, then it's the Olivers. Which of them is in front? It's Stuart ahead of Michael. Tom O'Rourke is in fifth. Neil Yates avoids spinning this time, but he does run wide. Well, I say avoid spinning, he nearly lost it there on the exit. The back of the truck almost came around. He needs to work on taking that hairpin, Neil Yates. But a great start by John Bowler up into second place. Tom O'Rourke there in fifth position. David Smith is in sixth in the number 11. And behind him, Paul Rivette leads Division 2 ahead of John Powell, and in third place in Division 2 further back is Simon Cole behind Neil Yates. Through Agostini they go for the first time. It's slightly reduced distance of 10 minutes on this restart. It's Stephen Powell who leads the way in the number 3, based just down the road from the Brands Hatch circuit in Kent. It's had 3 wins this year already. He won twice at Brands Hatch the season opening weekend in Division 1. He was beaten in that second one by Paul Rivette to take the overall win, but Powell topped Division 1. Had a win at Pembrey as well in race 5. The best of second place. He's had 4 second places since then across the Thruxton and Donington Park events. Down the Bentley Straight they come for the first time. John Bowler trying to close in on Powell for the lead in the Rochdale LGV Centre sponsored machine. Then the Olivers in 3rd and 4th in their identical MANs in the colours of GT tyres. 5th place Tom O'Rourke running well, then David Smith. Those half dozen breaking away slightly from the rest of the field. This is a chance for the rest of the field to close up with David Jenkins and Ryan Smith out of this race. Hopefully we'll see them back out for race 2. Paul Rivett it is who leads Division 2 in 7th place. Coming through to complete the lap then, Stephen Powell, a couple of truck lengths ahead of John Bowler, who was off like a slingshot at the start. Down the inside, over the line they go. The gap is 0.7 of a second between the 2 leaders. Powell with a 2:28.444 for the lead of this race. Tom O'Rourke's gained places off the line up into 5th place as well. He made a decent getaway. So Rivett leads Division 2 by 1.1 seconds near enough ahead of John Powell, 2nd in Division 2. 3rd of the slightly less powerful Division 2 trucks is Mr. Consistent, Simon Cole, then Archie Handy. 11 trucks still running then. The Olivers beginning to battle among themselves now for 3rd place, down towards Agostini. Is Michael going to make a move? And Tom O'Rourke trying to close in on them. He wants a podium. Number 86, Tom O'Rourke has only taken 1 podium this year, had a 3rd place at Thruxton in race 5. Michael Oliver, meanwhile, the best he's had this year, a couple of 2nd places at Thruxton and 1 at Pembrey. Had 1 win last year. Stephen Powell continues to set the pace ahead of John Bowler. And Stuart and Michael Oliver nose to tail for 3rd and 4th. Stuart Oliver has been there, seen it and won it in truck racing. Ryan Smith has made no secret of the fact that he's trying to match and better Stuart Oliver's record of 10 titles. Into Brundle. No change up front still. Stephen Powell, the pub owner from Kent, runs the Portobello Inn just down the road from Brands Hatch in West Kingsdown. Sideways Stuart Oliver there coming out of the bomb hole. That's how Kurt Goransson used to drive, the great Swedish former European champion back in the late 80s, early 90s. Used to handle his Volvos like that. Always had the tail out on the corners. Those are from his days working in the logging industry in Sweden, driving big logging trucks on icy roads. The only way to drive them is sideways. First 5 breaking away slightly now from David Smith. Good to have David back in the championship this year. Former Division 2 champion, now making the move into Division 1 after a few years away, returning this season. Less than 5 minutes of this race to go. Still your Division 2 leader is Paul Rivett, ahead of John Powell. Neil Yates has split them, so Yates making up a place overall after he ran wide on the first lap. Oliver's displaying the colours of Tahuna Honey, their new sponsor this year, and again Stuart Oliver kicks the tail out. Handling like a speedway bike, his machine. He could lose 3rd place to his son Michael trying to get round the outside. I don't think he'll get round the outside at Agostini, or will he? Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Can he get the move done here on the exit? Well, I don't think that's ever been seen in truck racing before, a truck going around the outside for a place at Agostini, but Michael Oliver's got it done. Possibly because Stuart's suffering from a few handling problems here. Now Tom O'Rourke closing in the International as well. This is allowing the first 2 to get away slightly. Stephen Powell certainly opening up a gap over John Bowler here. Nearly 1.5 seconds up now, the man from Kent. John Bowler from Cheshire in 2nd place. The Olivers from Northumberland. Tom O'Rourke all the way from Scotland in 5th place. David Smith, also from Kent, in 6th position. Paul Rivett still 7th ahead of Yates, John Powell and Simon Cole. Here they come into Brundle and the right-hander at Nelson. Be careful on the curbs through there. Very easy to run wide on the exit or get up on the inside curve, can flick your front wheel into the air. John Bowler's being closed down here by a rapid-looking Michael Oliver. He's up to 3rd. Can he get 2nd place away? They may get 2 more laps out of this in this slightly reduced restart for race 1 for the British Truck Racing Championship. Here they come up over the line. Now the lead gap was 1.45 seconds. See how close Michael Oliver is, as well as a black and white flag going out. That's the driving standards flag, and it's for John Bowler, number 14. Possibly for exceeding track limits. He could lose 2nd place here to the number 12 of Michael Oliver. A couple of laps to go then. And Michael Oliver is in attacking mode. He's going for P2, looking for his best finish of the year so far. Stephen Powell still leads. His lead gap had come down very slightly. It's down to 1.38 seconds. But less than 1.3 seconds covering the next 3. The Olivers and Tom O'Rourke. And Michael Oliver's all over the back of John Bowler now. He'll try and move to the inside. No, you don't, says John Bowler. Moves to the inside. Look at Michael Oliver weaving about there, all over the back of the number 14. Stephen Powell looks in his mirror and says, OK, that's exactly what I want. You to battle with each other so I can pull away in the lead. Stuart Oliver's not finished yet either. There's the 86, the MV Truck Racing entry of Tom O'Rourke. David Smith still going well in 6th position. Yes, Stephen Powell's definitely pulling away. Here comes Oliver again. Michael looks to the inside. They both run out wide, though, and Michael Oliver gets a wheel on the grass at Oggies. That's going to drop him back from John Bowler into the clutches of Stuart Oliver in the number 7. David Smith's dropped back a little bit in the number 11 into 6th position. Best he's had this year is a 4th at Brands Hatch, David Smith, on his return season, the 2012 Division 2 champion. Down the straight they come. Oh, Paul Rivett in trouble. The Division 2 leader is out. He's pulled up. That's on the exit of Hamilton, I think, the run towards Oggies. So that's going to give John Powell the lead in Division 2 in the number 6, the DAF. That's a great shame for the Napa and Tacosys sponsored truck. Paul Rivett opens the door. He's getting out, clearly a mechanical failure of some kind. So Stephen Powell in the clear. And they're side by side now for 2nd. Look at this into Murray's. Michael Oliver up the inside, forces his way down the inside. Good driving by Michael Oliver, takes 2nd place away from John Bowler. There's only a few seconds on the clock. Now, is it going to be checkered flag this time, or are we going to get one more lap? There's one more lap. The clock went to 0 just as Stephen Powell crossed the line. So it's going to be one more lap for Stephen Powell to hang on. Can Michael Oliver catch him? It was right on the cusp whether we'd see the checkered flag or not that time through. The clock went to 0, literally has. Stephen Powell crossed the line to start his final lap. Michael Oliver going great guns in 2nd place. John Bowler is 3rd. And Michael Oliver sideways. Just as I say that, he overshoots slightly at the hairpin. Hope I haven't put the curse of the commentator on there. Well, John Bowler's run wide as well. Gets a wheel on the grass. That was on the exit of the hairpin. Then we've got Stuart Oliver still 4th. Tom O'Rourke keeping up the pace in 5th position. David Smith dropping back into 6th. Neil Yates is now 7th with the demise of Paul Rivett. And John Powell further back leads Division 2 in the number 6. 2nd in Division 2 is now Mr. Consistent, Simon Cole. Yellow flag out on the exit of Agostini because of Paul Rivett's stranded truck. You can see the green light flashing there. Michael Oliver continuing to pull away. No, there's Paul Rivett. You can see him, he's parked well off circuit there on the exit of Agostini, so I'm not sure why the green light was showing just before that. So Simon Cole up to 2nd in Division 2. Archie Handy is 3rd. Now, has he had a podium in Division 2 yet, the number 40? Yes, he has. He had a couple at Pembrey. So he'll equal his best result in Division 2 here. Here come the leaders, and Michael Oliver's not finished yet. Look, he's still keeping up the challenge. He's reeling in Stephen Powell. Now, can he repeat his move coming out of Coram? Runs a little bit wide at Nelson. The checkered flag this time by, and Michael Oliver, could he snatch the win? Can he snatch his first win of the season? He's right up with Stephen Powell now. What a last couple of laps by Michael Oliver. He's up alongside. He's getting into position. If he keeps the inside here for the left-hander at Murray's, he could steal the win from Stephen Powell. They're absolutely side by side. Look at this. Into Murray's. He's done it again. Michael Oliver up the inside, gets the truck stopped in time, and he's through. Oh, brilliant from Michael Oliver. What a superb drive through from 4th to 1st. And he's coming up towards the checkered flag this time. Michael Oliver wins. What a superb drive. Stephen Powell 2nd, Bowler is 3rd, Stuart Oliver 4th. Stephen Powell can't believe it. Michael Oliver can't believe it, I don't think. O'Rourke is 5th, David Smith 6th. Well, I don't think even Michael Oliver expected to win that. The same move on consecutive laps into the last corner. And it worked both times. Michael Oliver was down in 4th in the early laps of that one. Neil Yates comes over in 7th place. And further back, John Powell is going to win Division 2 in the number 6. This is Simon Cole. Once again, the quiet achiever this season in the Iveco. Mr. Consistent is going to take 2nd in Division 2, and despite still not having won a race, he's going to keep his points lead. There's John Powell over the line to win Division 2 in 8th place. But keeping the championship lead is going to be Simon Cole. He's a bit further back down the road. And Archie Handy's going to take 3rd. Here comes Cole, the man from Dartford, just east of London. And there's Archie Handy. Well, what a remarkable race to begin the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Simon Cole keeps his points lead in Division 2. Now, who gets the point for fastest lap is another question. Stephen Powell got the quickest lap of the race, 2:27.859, so he gets the extra point there. And in Division 2, it'll be Paul Rivette will at least get a point for fastest lap. So Michael Oliver the winner ahead of Stephen Powell, snatching the win on the very last corner, and John Bowler a fine 3rd place. You'd have got relatively long odds on that result if betting was allowed here at Snetterton. Stuart Oliver in 4th ahead of Tom O'Rourke, then David Smith and Neil Yates. Then Division 2 won by John Powell in number 6 ahead of Simon Cole and Archie Handy. We lost Paul Rivette, and of course Ryan Smith and David Jenkins didn't take the restarts. We'll wait Pointy to catch up with the drivers down in Parc Ferme.
Hold on, Han.
My last corner! Not my last corner!
Oh my gosh, I mean, phenomenal race from everybody up there at the front, but my God, what, I mean, talk about leaving it till the last minute.
Oh, send it.
I mean, when I was in the pit lane before I left halfway through the race, I was like, do you reckon Stu's going to let him through in a minute? And then all of a sudden, it's like last lap, Michael Oliver, there he is. I mean, wow.
Honestly, I've never in my life.
You can go home now, mate.
I will. I'm not getting better than that.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't have to ask how you feel.
No.
There's, you know, well, I've not even spoken to you for a while, and here we are. So what a way to start the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Oh, no, I know I'm not allowed to be biased, but he's my mate, yeah? Right, well done, Michael, well done. Steve, oh, commiserations.
Yeah,
but still, what a race! What a race!
To be fair, it's Michael, so I'm not that fussed.
Yeah.
I'm pleased for him. I mean, you know, so it was just so much crap on the circuit. I think Paul's had
very wet. It's not wet, it's as slippy as anything, wasn't it?
After the incident, obviously 2 laps in, it was all right, and then the last 2 laps there was a whole line all the way round. So I'm standing on the inside, coming around the bomb hole, and he's come round the outside. Great move, because then the next pin's the left, and I was like, do I? And we'd have ended up probably taking each other off. And then all I'm thinking, I'm chasing Dave. Dave's not on the track. Gutted, I am.
Yeah, of course. But look, still got a trophy. Still a good start to the weekend.
If I'm brutally honest, I'm gutted, but I don't care because it's Michael and I like it.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. That's camaraderie among racers.
And now it's just set the thing for the weekend, because I'm just going to punt him straight off in the next
You didn't hear that? Well, he's not. He's going to be a very kind, courteous driver the entire weekend. Aren't you, Steve?
Yes, of course I am.
That is it. Right, well done, Steve. Well done. Right, then, let's go and have a word with one more driver then. As we leave Steve Powell and Michael Oliver to congratulate each other. Someone else then over to Division 2. Hands being shaken as we can speak to John Powell, who also was in poised position to take his first place trophy, and I'm sure he's got a story to tell us, a short story about where he's been this week. Again, I mean, we didn't think you were too worse off at Donington, but of course you've experienced a little bit of a different journey, haven't you, in the preparation for the weekend?
Yeah, well, we set the gearbox off and radiator and blah blah blah. They're just, you know, time's essence with fixing these things, so I'm running the business as well, so try and balance in the two basically. So that means working during the daytime, finishing of the night time, and then coming back in and working on this. So,
and then you've had quite a bit to do with this as well on the run up, and of course you were extremely well, high spirits, shall we say, this morning when I saw you for the first time this weekend to be getting out on circuit.
I don't know, I don't remember that actually.
Oh, he was very happy. He was see this smiley face here.
Yeah.
He was like that first thing this morning.
Yeah, that was, I think they call that wind.
Yeah, really was. I'll give him a pat on the back for later on. Oh, so great start to the weekend for you though, John. Trophy for the cabinet.
Well, I didn't expect to finish, so we got an issue ourselves, and then I see Paul go off. And
you're not sure what happened to Paul? Just seemed to carry on, and that pulled himself up.
Yeah, he just stopped. It didn't even seem like it was running. So maybe electrical fault. Who knows? Who knows? We're sad, really, but you know. It's benefited us, but that's
exactly. Well, as they say in the trade, to finish first you must finish.
Absolutely. We know all about that.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, off for a lunch break now. You sound like you've got some bits to look at, in which case. But first, we're going to hand out some silverware, hopefully, yes?
Yeah, lovely. Perfect.